Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. You're welcome. Today on Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. This is where we get to talk about everything that truly matter in and for the public good. Femi Ojo is my name. This is the first in the series of Morning Spring for this week. Ruling here, beaming live, crisply clear and on Western Spring Television, Channel 190 on StarTimes DTT, and also on our Facebook, Instagram, and of course our YouTube channels at Western Spring Television. NG Femi Ojo is my name, and Topa is here. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Glad
Very
it's my
well.
heart to bid you welcome to the
Right.
show this morning, dear viewer. Thank you for joining us. It is a beautiful week. It is a beautiful morning. My name is Timitope Ajijola Oluwola, and the spirit of International Women's Day, we wish you all a happy and beautiful International Women's Day. We're women, and we're very important to the nation, to the society. All right, so it is Morning Spring. This is where we make sense of conversations going on around, especially as touching the economy, politics, education, health, and every other thing shaping the world, shaping, discuss here and there. My name is Timitope. Welcome to the show this morning.
All right, and we look through the headlines of various dailies from the front pages of these papers, and we get to talk about the issues, in the public space as well. By the way, um, Happy International Women's Day in arrears. That was yesterday, by the way.
Yeah.
And it was, being weekend, it allowed for so many things, actually, for celebrating the women. Every day should be a woman's day, actually, because they're so important in the ecosystem of having things done rightly in our nation. Talking about giving women chance, not just as handout, but making the environment suitable for, to fly actually as high as they can, yeah, especially in the place of leadership, political officers, because that's still a chance. There's still, in the last 20 years, I've been talking about, the affirmative call and giving a particular percentage to the women. That was the time they were talking about 15%, to be set aside for appointment and political offices in Nigeria. But then it's one thing to have that discussed on paper, is another thing, because when you talk about elective positions, right? I would have play out, especially, let's talk about the National Assembly. Does that mean, because it starts from the primary, that means the political parties will have to make sure that, okay, the position women in a place that they will have opportunity of being elected at least in 15% of whatever is available in that particular constituency. How would that work? And so that there is that part, and there is the part of, if the women are saying they are equal to the challenge, then no percentage should be set aside for anybody to say, let's go toe to toe, um, shoulder to shoulder, head to head. Talking about head to head, it brings one to remember Daniel Boala and Al Jazeera. Because that's another conversation. We'll come to that shortly. But then my own belief is the girl child, because a woman was first a girl, actually, should, whatever is attainable, generally, no woman, no girl should be denied anything on the basis of the agenda. That's my own. If there is an opportunity for a man to bring in 50 and earn 50, the woman bringing in 50, she should earn 50. Nobody should say it's a woman, so let's give her 30. No, that's a no for me. And I think that's what equity really means.
Yes.
To say, if there is something that has been put up as a work, and she has put in the work, and the remuneration should be a particular point of figure, let her have it. Let him have it. Nobody should be denied because Obirini, as they say around here, they can fly as they can. But then, talking about political office is a big and different kettle of fish, because for a woman, in a kind of way, if we are to be factual, right, they might slightly be at a disadvantage.
Okay.
Actually,
Also.
because, yeah, Thank you. The many responsibilities attached to a woman actually might not really be helpful, because you talk about a woman being a wife, being a mother. Being a mother is more like a full-time job, actually, especially when you have the children in multiples. Now, it's a big business. Now, but for the man, most of the times, he can, not that he should, fly on some of this spectrum because he believes my madam has the home covered, right? And can do that. Now, because this is the reality beyond speeches, right? Beyond conferences, beyond white papers. This is the thing. But for a woman, the fact that she is a woman herself, from herself, without even being burdened, her first, allegiance naturally differs to the home. Naturally. Now, for a woman, a man has to be involved. There should be a support system. I'm talking about political offices now. For such a woman to fly as high. And I'm using a Nigerian example because this is reality now. Most of the meetings happen nocturnally in the night. So there's the public perception to that. There is the family perception to that. But what I'm saying this morning is for a woman to fly as high as possible, it needs the intervention, not intervention, the support of a woman, other fellow women. It needs the intervention and support of the men. So what I'm saying is this: everybody should have opportunity to do whatever they want to do. But for a woman, for me personally, you need much more of a support system, right? That will push the woman to say, madam, go ahead. We hold this for you. We guard this for you. And I think if actually we can do that, maybe we have more women in politics flying at the national level, not just as SAs and SSAs. And at the National Assembly, talk where we have 109 senators. Only 4 are women. Very, very negligible percentage. Almost the same thing is happening at the at the Green Chambers. Does that mean that we don't have the women with capacity? I believe we do. But then some of these things has to be considered so that maybe by the next election cycle, Osun State House of Assembly, we don't have any. No, man. So I saw a release from the State House of Assembly. Oh, Adewale Egbedun yesterday, celebrating International Women's Day. Of course, he's right. And one thing that came to my mind is from a leader of a house that doesn't have any woman. But then he was first elected as his colleagues. So it's not his business to elect others as well. But if all of these things can be considered, maybe we will, at the next election cycle, maybe we have 5, maybe we have 10, maybe we even have 30 women at the House of Assembly. 26.
Well, you've raised salient points, and I just like to say that the world has changed. The world has evolved. Cultures, traditions ought to be shifting as well. And there was a time where it was solely the man's responsibility to provide in a home. But these days, we've found that women, if not more often than not, they also, provide. More often than not, the provider as well as the husband. And in some very exceptional cases, they're even the breadwinner of the home. And because of this, in light of these changes and, evolution and all of this, women need to be factored into society in such a way. The UN was saying that no society has been able to achieve, equality, gender equality, and that is a cause for concern. This is not to be at loggerheads. The institution of marriage is different. But when we're talking about society, I think that fair and level playing ground should be obtainable, in the society for every gender to thrive. And this is also, factoring in what Femi has said earlier, women, that shouldn't be percentages or quota, being given to women. By whom? By men? By another gender? I think that these conversations should be had seriously. Women need to have the fair and level playing ground that men have. The society has changed. The world has changed. And we all need to change accordingly. Our mindsets, the structure of society everything needs to change for every gender to thrive. And that is calling on every stakeholder, men, women. The support is needed. We're not talking about marriage support. That's different. We're talking about, and it also plays out here. And because the marriages are failing, it also transcends into society. And because men have been found, this is not to cast
when I was
aspersion.
talking, I mean family support.
No. I'm not even coming from your angle. I am talking based on my own opinion now. All right. That institution will surely, reflect. And I'm talking about some of the lack of support that even women get in marriages. It transcends into career because once there's no support from the home, it will surely affect career. Right. And that's been, making or giving a lot of pressure to the woman. If she cannot really handle the home, then her career will fail. And that's calling on every stakeholder to look into the fact that the society has changed and we need to change. Women need not be handed quotas or percentages. That's wrong. That's how I feel. And because we're talking about that today, I think that that's a conversation that we really need to have on a very, very serious level. Right. So women should be found everywhere that men are found. We own the society together. I don't see how some people should be giving quotas to some other people. Everybody should be supported equally. Everybody should be given fair hearing. We hope to see a society where men are in the House, in the National Assembly, in Congresses, and the population is almost equal, or if not equal. That's what we should be saying, not because the home, yes, that was the natural setting until women became providers as well. So let's just get those very, very those very serious discussions going. It's very important.
It's totally right, and it's an ongoing conversation. It will always be. We see these changes because you talk about evolving of the society, and that's why I had to butt in the other time. But thank God you have made good of your intention to say, I'm not even hinging it on marriage or whatever. A woman is not defined by the marriage. She's first a woman, and so marriage or not, she will. That can change. She will always be a woman. But I'm talking about a family support.
I was talking for myself.
I understand.
And I'm talking that if you don't have support from your home, that's going to affect your career. So we need to look into the homes first. There should be support. You were talking about traditionally that women, are seen to be caregivers, home, they take care of the home and all of that. Yes, it hasn't changed. But
and it won't change.
It may not change. It should change, Femi. Okay. We should have that conversation. That's what we are talking here. They are natural caregivers. Yeah. But the responsibility you have towards your children is the same thing your wife has towards her children. And that's what I want. The mindset, that's that mindset. You are a father, she is a mother. The roles are different. And the roles are also the same as parents. You both should take care of your children.
The roles are different.
The roles are different. The responsibilities are the same. Okay. Yes. Okay. And so, because you cannot breastfeed, a woman can. And in some cases, men would do what a woman would do, but in different ways. You know what I'm saying? There are some exceptional cases like that. And so what I'm saying is, while the roles are different, you both have responsibilities as parents to take care of your children. Yeah. So don't leave it to the woman to take care of the home. And especially if both of you are providing in your home, and do not let your woman's career suffer because you want to advance yours. Those conversations need to be had beyond the shores of marriage. And if you're not giving the right support in your home, you most likely will not even give it in career. That is where it first starts. So that's my conversation around it. It's not coming from your angle. It's coming from the point that I am seeing this and that I want conversations to be had in society today.
Noted, 100%. The point in which we just had to dabble into this. But yesterday, the program doesn't hold yesterday. So today is the only time we have before we move into other things for today. And it's worth, if the whole program is dedicated to that, it's worth it, actually. But then, the theme for this year is give to gain, actually. I've seen in some places, meaning there should be collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
There should be conversation. Should be resources put together to advance the cause of women. So for those that have done that, either United Nations, WHO, all of these international organizations, they reckon that there is a gap. There is a gully, between when it comes to the male gender and the female gender. And, the thing, most of the times when this conversation is being held, if you're not careful, it usually evolves into man versus woman. And that is not my point this morning. It doesn't have to be, it shouldn't be, right? The conversation is about women for this period. When it's International Men's Day, we talk about men. It doesn't have to be, so how about women? Today or yesterday or at this period, it's about women. Let's talk about women and the things that affect them. You have laid a lot of talking points on that level, which I think they are valid, right? So the point for people who made the affirmative thing, and it wasn't some group of men coming together to say, let's help our women, give them 15, at least with the intention, because intention, that's why they talk about intention, the spirit and the letters, even in Constitution, to say what's the motive behind this particular section and subsection. So that's talking about law, is to say there is an issue. How do we help that issue? Can we put a percentage on it to say, while among many other things that has been done, when it comes to appointments, at least so that you won't say, oh, it's based on merit. And because it's based on merit, the people you can find around are all men. Let there be inclusion of women. Check the Nigerian cabinet, actually. How many of them are women in Tinubu's cabinet? You can count. Like, I think Tinubu started with 42, right? Or 47, or thereabout. Of the ministers, how many of them are women? Okay, so some have left, like Betty Edu, left because of issues, okay? Allegations of corruption. I'm not sure we've had another addition of a woman to replace, like for like, the way they say it. So the conversation for me is live and let live. In fact, that's one of my mottos in life. Live and let live. Let everybody be okay. But there is an issue, really. Check workplaces. I think organizations, right, must find a way to say, this particular conversation, how can we help that cause? Okay, there is a particular bank in which I've seen their trajectory in Nigeria, right? I don't want to mention. Their leadership is having many women right now, and they are doing well. In fact, two of these banks.
There's one that's prominent though.
A red color bank and a blue color bank, and the banks have not been going down. So that means maybe from a place of policy for that bank, I wouldn't know. Maybe I wasn't in their boardrooms, but you see the kind of management. In fact, was it last week? There was a particular front page that we read, and this particular bank management went to visit a particular governor. So, and out of the 4 of them, 3 of them were women. So that means you can infer that from a place of policy for that bank, maybe they make it a point of duty to say, in their recruitment, let's make it this way.
But you know that's peculiar to
I'm just saying,
sector.
I'm only drawing inference to say, you must acknowledge that there is an issue. And you say, how can we help this matter in this place? Western Spring Television, Rave FM, this is a conversation. Okay, the management comes together and say, what can we do about this matter? Television A, Radio B, bank this, state government that, and all of these things. You must recognize beyond the emotions and the sensations and will and wishes to say, what must we do? That's why I had to mention the cabinet at the federal level. How many of them are women? And out of these women, how many of them have the one they call, the juicy portfolios in Ocean State? Let's take for example. In fact, some of them that are commissioners and SA, you rarely find them saying anything, doing anything. We are in Ocean State. So, Commissioner for Women and Children, what's the name? What's the relevance? I'm not questioning the CV, but do you even know? You only know because you are journalists. That's just, what have you seen? It was International Women's Day, right? On Saturday. Did you see anything from that table? Did you see anything from that desk? So that's why I'm saying, as the men are trying the conversation should not just be about some men coming together. In fact, it's even worse when you're having conversations about women and you don't even say as many women as you should see in that particular room. So let's talk, as we round off now, let's talk about the National Assembly that I mentioned earlier. Imagine they're having conversation about women, 109 of them talk about, and we only have 4 of them at that table, right? In fact, one of them was suspended for 6 months. We don't even want to go to that route for you to see possibly the support she enjoyed from others or the support she didn't enjoy from others. Meaning, and on a light channel, just to play that right, I usually say, especially in Nigeria that I know, some of the challenges, some of the issues, some of the problems being faced, even to the family level, right? I stand to be corrected. Many of them are superintended by fellow women. And I stand to say that, actually. But, that's on a lighter note. Before we hit the brakes, I know you might have something to say about that. We talked about head-to-head. Your man, Mr. Daniel Bwala, was on a TV channel. I wouldn't know when the interview held. We might not know. But it was released towards the weekend. Yeah. Did you see? Have you seen the full length? Really? But you have seen excerpt.
I just,
right.
Yeah.
My, oh my. It was, some call it an evisceration, some call it an annihilation. It was more like a bad day at the office, actually, for Daniel Bwala, because it was an interview, head-to-head, conducted by Mehdi Hassan, and who had, as they say on social media, many receipts. In fact, the receipts were not just on small, it was on A4, many A4 papers to say, did you do this? No, I didn't say that. Did you say this? Oh, I can't remember when I said it. Oh, Mr. Bwala, you did this. Oh, the context matters. Okay. I said it when I was in opposition, and I like a question that the interviewer asked. I used to say, does that mean when you're in the opposition, you're allowed to lie? No, he said, no, I didn't say I lied. But do you know the takeaway for me before you come in? I had to bring it down to Osun State. I was in a program at the radio end, and I said, this should be a lesson, especially for, I don't have problems with the principals. They have a way of sorting themselves, even though illegally and immorally. But it's for the political jobbers. In Osun State now, when you check your social media, salvos are flying everywhere. Oh, you're a thief. Oh, you're this one. You're that one. Let's say in the next 2 years, you have to change your course to the other side. Just like PDP is going to accord to this one, APC, PDP, whatever. Right now, will you still be able to maintain that energy? The way Bwala was stuttering and had a bad day at the office, although he has put up a particular post to say, oh, he wasn't told that he was going to answer for some of the things he has said in the past. Can you imagine? I said, really?
Going to question
that he was only asked that, informed that he was speaking about Tinubu's government. It's like telling me that you're asking me that those things I've said, you must tell me to remember because you are going to ask me about them. Well, okay. Your opinion about that?
It was a laughable.
Right.
When I saw that particular statement, it was laughable.
I think it made the matter worse. People are just
and I also saw, I also saw something about probably people in this administration hailing, that I saw something like that. Yes, he did well. I always say that one of the harshest, and the very controversial portfolio to handle for any government is the job of a spokesperson or PR or a representative on any platform. It's very dicey.
Image making.
Yes, very, very dicey situation, very, very dicey assignment to be given. You have to be smart, you have to be very intelligent, and it's just a very, I'll put it this way, it's a very terrible job to be tasked with. And if Daniel Bwala, I'm not sorry to say, has not really been touted as a very, very exceptional or very intelligent person. And for him to also come to say something.
Because there is a particular tweet attributed to Daniel Bwala, actually, that he said the percent that of a human brain functions this way until they join the APC. So maybe that is what has happened to him. Like, he used to have sense according to his logic. He was in the APC. And then he left for the PDP. He said because of the Muslim thing. So, Oga, why did you now come back? He said because Tinubu has impressed him, he had to come back. And they were now telling him, did you say Tinubu has a militia? He denied. And then the TV, this thing was played when he said it. Did you say Tinubu wanted to kill you? He denied. Oga, you said it at this time. Did you say this particular thing at the time you said he can't remember? Is it selective amnesia?
Well, it's a good thing that the internet never forgets.
No, it doesn't.
It's a good thing that the internet never forgets. So when you say you didn't say something, it's also the same thing with Reno Mokri. I mean, it was with Shewa and
ambassador, please. He's an ambassador to Mexico.
All right.
Have you forgotten?
Good for him.
You know, and by the way, the ambassadorial
list is out.
And the deployment.
I mean, when you were talking about women found in places, my mind was just, cast back to the list. And I was wondering how many women are people. Also there.
How many of them are
that?
Women?
Yeah.
You see,
a lot of things.
there is an issue that we need to, and we can't just overemphasize. But back, Reno is an ambassador to Mexico. Ambassador Reno. Femi Fani-Kayode to Germany. I think Germany, yeah. And of course, why are you laughing? These Nigerians ambassadors.
We'll see how that works out. How it plays out. We'll see how it plays out.
And you have the career ambassadors.
Yeah.
You have the non-career ambassadors. But, the point I was trying to make, right, is the fact that in Osho right now, and I hope they are watching, while you are being paid or because of a particular cause or because of benefit you have enjoyed from a particular politician, and you want to really, the way they say, finish your opponent, do it with grace, in a kind of way. I know it's a dirty one. Even from here to America, politics is always dirty.
Oh, you can even do it dirty. Make sure that you can defend it
in the next 5 years.
In future, yeah.
If you are being given that particular words and play back, will you hope you will not be stuttering and you'll be having memory loss, and then you'll be having these issues. But you know the worst part? Somebody commented on a post I put up on the matter and said, I must really be over expectant for me to think that politicians care about this matter. And I think that's the truth. You and I are the one who think, oh, he's a baddie at the office. For a career, in fact, the person said, for a career politician, he don't go. Because they know what they need to do is to put up something controversial in the next 2 days. And we forget about that. Did you know that while we were chewing that, a particular army base in the north was overrun?
Yeah,
army base.
I saw another statement that said nothing like that. Yes.
And not an army checkpoint, an army base. So they'll know, and it's because of people. I usually put it back to us. We are enablers of bad behavior.
Yeah.
It's your thief. It's not my thief. Now your money is still. That's the kind of conversation in this same country. Oh, one governor, former governor was taken to FCC, he has been pardoned. They will tell you, is it your thief? Is it your money? Is your money missing? These are the kind of questions Nigeria asks. It's a lot, really. But we take a quick break right now. When we when we come back, we speak to these issues. We just have to reminisce on, what has happened in the course of the weekend, especially the day set aside for women internationally. Let's support them, starting from our girls. Let them know you can fly as high as you can. Stay with us. Political parties differ over IPAC's threat to boycott 2027 election. Nigerian Tribune, big bold headline, Electoral Act. Political parties differ over IPAC's threat to boycott 2027 election. It is desirable, NNPP. It is too early, but not for closed ADC. Our focus is how to put our house in order, Labour Party, and we are against undemocratic schemes of APC, controlled National Assembly, and SDP. We will encourage them to boycott APC. Lawyers, CSOs weigh in. Right. Political parties differ over IPAC's threat to boycott 2027 election?
I mean, for APC, that is clear. The media point clear that will encourage the Inter-Party Advisory Council to boycott. And then I don't understand the statement from the NMPP. It said it is desirable. What's desirable? The boycotting?
Obviously. And APC are saying, be my guest.
And so,
if you don't want to be a part of it, be my guest.
NMPP is now, what, in bed with APC?
Well, I'm not sure that's what that means. More like, if maybe they are saying, by the way, the detail
of the stories will be there.
Maybe they are saying, if IPAC is going that route, it's desirable, actually. But then, I wouldn't personally advise any party to boycott anything, especially at this time. Make sure if there are challenges, work it out. I mean, via the courts. Because you're saying you won't be a part of it. That means maybe, except you have cogent reasons why you are doing that, that will be tried in the court.
It's just the advisory council anyway. But then, if bodies like that are, if there have been talks and bodies like that are not pacified, I don't think that, well, this is the APC talking, so we can't really attribute it, even though it can be associated, but we can't really attribute it to the government speaking. But then parties should, be careful around things like this. Like I would say again, it is dicey. And this is the Inter-Party Advisory Council. These are mediators. These are, this is a body that gives advisory to the parties and calls them
advisory.
Yes, advisory.
The decision is not binding. And there are some of their members that will say, if you don't want to participate, we will participate. All right. Moving on here, editors inaugurate committee on research, training, publications. With a rider say committee to bridge gap between academic training and professional practice. Moving on, Benin City wins $1 million Global Innovation Prize in Bloomberg Mayor's Challenge. Benin City wins $1 million Global Innovation Prize in Bloomberg Mayor's Challenge. That's a good one. And hope rises for PDP as Olawepo's shuttle diplomacy yields a breakthrough. Hope rises for PDP as Olawepo's shuttle diplomacy yields breakthrough. Okay, for the PDP. We wish them all the best. And from the health scene, a daily soft drink, regardless of sugar content, may harm body immunity. Gut health. Daily soft drink, regardless of sugar content, may harm body immunity and gut health. Researchers. All right. I'm sure many persons will be blinking their eye, especially for those who cannot do without, having fizzy drinks. The ones we call soft drink every time. The one the street call minerals. All right. And here we have a picture of the Chief Executive ENI, Claudio Descalzi, the Attorney General of the Federation, and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, and Minister of State for Petroleum, Heinrich Lukobiri, during the signing of agreement of the resolution of the dispute over OPL 245 in Abuja. Below that, shockwaves across construction sector as cement sells between 11,500 and 15,000 naira per bag. Developers call for stakeholders engagement. So what is happening now? Can this be attributed to Iran, US, Israel war? Because everything now is about Iran, Israel, US war. All right. And NLC raises alarm over alleged 20 billion naira heist in TCN. NLC raises alarm over alleged 20 billion heist in TCN, the heist in parentheses there, and says it is looting plan disguised as emergency refurbishment. 6 power ministries intervention wants EFCC ICPC to investigate 20 billion naira. Okay, all right. Top street resolution of OPL 245 dispute, turning point for oil and gas sector, EGF Fagbemi and ADC, whatever is turning point. I hope they know, because I know this is just policy and, resolving of issues, that the price of petrol is climbing daily. And in 2 days, Dangote refinery, 2 times in a week, raised the gantry price of their product, including the NNPCL. So averagely now is selling between 975 and 1,000 naira and above. And so you know the ripple effect on other things. That means whatever you are buying, there will be increase because transportation fare will have increased. And so everybody factor that into whatever they are selling. So for students, for pupils going to school, for workers, it's a lot at this time. So questions will always be raised about the workings of our local refinery because we don't have any.
Yes.
The one we have right now, that the NNPCL JMD CEO is asking us to shout hallelujah every time and be grateful for Mr. Dangote and his refinery, of which we are, okay, is because we're only left with him, actually, with his company. I didn't think we have a working refinery like we supposed to have, like 4, right? Then that means whatever we are producing, as much we have the crude, and of course our refineries are churning out the products, there is always a home quota in every country. That means whatever is happening at the international stage wouldn't have affected us because before we export, our home quota will be guaranteed, but we don't have any right now. In fact, the man in charge has told us, forget about it. You should be grateful. God has given you an opportunity with Dangote. You people should be saying, Father, we thank you every time. And here we go. Or if you don't want to buy with Dangote, so what do? You import as well. And you know how costly that will be. ADC plays a power bill for dismissing opposition's objections to Electoral Act 2026. ADC plays a power bill for dismissing opposition's objections to Electoral Act 2026. And Iran war, federal government activates diplomatic channels, consular alerts to protect citizens. And we have to recheck the ambassador that has been posted to Iran because he has a lot of work to do. Actually, when will he even resume? Because it is a lot at this time. And by the way, before you come in, I saw an interview on a particular station where the Israeli ambassador to Nigeria was interviewed, and he had to say that the IMN in Nigeria, that's the Islamic movement of Nigeria, the Shiite, have been sponsored by Iran. And, it was trying to put a narrative that the insurgency and the banditry going on in Nigeria has a hand of Iran in it. And, it was a fierce one, by the way, that interview. And one might want to put one-on-one together to say, maybe that explains why the IMN, the Shiites, have been protested in Nigeria, in Abuja, in Bauchi, in Kano, in some part of the state, for the killing of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. And one will wonder, so how is it our business really, But then, that'll be all from the Nigerian Tribune.
Right, you've raised one of the questions on people's minds. How does what is happening in Iran concern Nigeria? That's in the Middle East. Because Nigeria is far away from that place.
And the same people will not protest for the killing of their own brothers.
In Nigeria,
here.
Exactly. So those are
your
the
language men, your tribesmen.
I mean, you explain it away. You don't say anything. A lot of questions there. Moving to a paper that I lost so much. Daily Trust right there. And bringing a lot of, things to mind. The banner headline, always most likely from the human angle. Middle East war pushes up petrol, food prices. Middle East war pushes up petrol, food prices, and you can see the pump price of PMS right there on the face of Daily Trust. And this one here is quoted at 1,092 naira per liter, and some other products right there. You can see another 1,035 naira, right? And that's there on Daily Trust's paper this morning. And just about that, many feared dead in Adamawa communal clash. Many feared dead in Adamawa communal clash. That's on page 7 of Daily Trust's paper this morning. Page 41, Iran names Khamenei's son, Mojtaba, new supreme leader. Iran names Khamenei's son, Mojtaba, new supreme leader. And right there you can see this is the special edition. It says IWD, International Women's Day 2026. You can see those on pages 21 to 28 right there on Daily Trust's paper. To the bottom strip, you see this. Lawyers, ADC to ICPC charge or release El-Rufai. Lawyers, ADC to ICPC charge or release El-Rufai. Madam Nasser El-Rufai has been in detention a while now. That's on page 6. You can find details of that on page 6 of Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Borno, Boko Haram in control of Ngoshe. That's according to locals. Right, 7 die, 18 injured in Benue, Lagos auto crashes. 7 die, 18 injured in Benue, Lagos auto crashes. Taraba residents, they cry high rent. Taraba residents, they cry high rent. Page 33 of Daily Trust newspaper has that. And some other places too are crying, decrying a high, voltage of the rents at this time. But those are the headlines right there making the face of Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
Right from the Daily Trust to another daily, that's the Daily Sun. Daily Sun convention, APC governors at war over NWC positions. Conventions, APC governors at war over NWC positions. All right, and below that you have the picture of Madam First Lady, that's Oluremi Tinubu, with Senate President Gosela Pabio, the wife of the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Noble Lady Helen Eno Obaseki, and her husband, Governor Umor Eno, and wives of other governors. And during the celebration of the International Women's Day in Uyo Township Stadium, it was a big event at the stadium. And by the way, they had fun. Sure, had fun. I saw Tenny the musician, entertaining, rocking, everybody there, including the First Lady and Governor Umoeno and Gosela Pabi. Such a fine entertainer, by the way, for Tenny Makanaki. And I saw, while the First Lady was there as well, a table tennis match between Governor Umoeno and the First Lady, actually. Okay. And by the way, the First Lady, such a ping ponger, if I may say that, because, well, it's good to have fun, actually, even while there are challenges all over, that the nation and the leaders must rise up to, actually. Maybe it's still find time to unwind as well, celebrating the women. And you can see in this picture, all of them there at the front, donning the APC Ankara. And I could see the man I call the caustic man, for the fear of a better word, Senator Nwabushi, yeah, if you know who he is, especially on Senate matters, Natasha Mata, the Senator Umai Mata, and all of those guys. All right, moving on. Ex-Lagos LG chief arrested as NDLEA recovers illicit drugs in baby diapers. NLC alleges 20 billion looting plot in TCN. Editors inaugurate committee on research, training, and publications. There is this intervention that the federal government is trying to do with, I think, the grid, national grid, and infrastructure. And maybe this is what the TCN is saying. Excuse also, it's now look, they want to look to this thing, but then they will have to work it, and that's why they are calling the FCC and the ICPC to investigate whatever is going on there. Recapitalization raise triggers merger talks among top banks. Unity Providers merger awaits court approval. All right, recapitalization. And fear Grace PDP members over leadership as appeal court rules today. Fear Grace PDP members over leadership as appeal court rules today with rider to that. Chieftains speak on possibility of party not fielding candidates in 2027 polls. By the way, the PDP doesn't have a candidate. Guba candidate in Osun. They don't have an APC. All right, because that's the 2 Guba elections coming up this year. And port theft resurges as wharf rats loot imported vehicles. Port theft resurges as wharf rats loot imported vehicles. Rider importers count losses as NPA says terminal operators responsible for cargo security. Really? Terminal operators responsible for cargo security. So who are the terminal operators? in a place like the Nigerian Port Authority, where it has been reported that wharf rats are now looting, imported vehicles. In the days of the CCTV, all right, you still see looting going on and all of those things. Okay, we must do better so that people who have struggled to import, to raise funds and import, cargoes will now end up suffering loss just because some persons will not just do their job.
Yeah.
Exactly. That'll be all from the Daily Sun.
All right, moving on to the Guardian newspaper this morning. The banner headline, shareholders may forfeit dividends as CBN penalizes insider abuse. Page 6 of The Guardian has the story, Customs blames banks, others for failed 24 hours ports operations. Customs blames banks, others for failed 24 hours operations. Page 4 of The Guardian has that. NIDCAM, needle, flay, arrest of 42 Nigerians in Mozambique. Demand release. IWD, NHRC raises alarm over early marriages. 2027 polls will be Nigerians against bad leadership, says Obi. 2027 polls will be Nigerians against bad leadership, says Obi. You can find that on page 7. And just above that, you can see that's still on the CBN story there. Operators to consider facilities as bad loans, make 100% provisions. Banks to call back billions of outstanding debts. Small banks may require additional capital. That's on the story on page 6. Right to the lower strip. Petrol price may hit 1,400 naira per litre as Dangote refinery loading stalls. Petrol price may hit 1,400 naira per litre as Dangote refinery loading stalls. Femi, be prepared.
Okay.
All right, page 30 of the Guardian newspaper. Bandits attack Sokoto community as Zamfara holds emergency security meeting. Right, now moving to the top strip of the paper just below the nameplate. Walk the talk on security emergency. Ndume tells Tinubu. Walk the talk on security emergency. Ndume tells Tinubu. You can find that on page 3. PDP governors preach peace ahead of appeal court's verdict on party leadership. Page 3 also has that story. Women stakeholders harp on empowerment inclusion on International Day. Women stakeholders harp on empowerment inclusion on International Day. Still talking about the International Women's Day. Right, those are the headlines right there making the face of the Guardian newspaper this morning.
We talked about the price of petrol right now, and whatever happens with that in Nigeria, we learned 7 naira increase. Has been put. It's a 4 naira, 7 naira now, but you won't see that ripple effect when it comes to the transporters adding maybe 7 naira or 4 naira to their own fare. You get to see maybe an increase of 100 naira at least. 200, depending on where you are going. Actually, maybe a place that used to cost like 300 naira may end up costing like 400 naira right now. And while the increase at the gantry, level was just 4 naira and 7 naira. But then by the time it gets to the filling stations, you might see an increase of 30 naira and all of those things. So where do people run to?
And at this time is way more than that, Femi.
Of course,
just
that's what I'm
at
saying.
Around 800 and something. And now it's way past 9. It's only a few of these petrol stations that are selling at, around 900 and something. It's now 1,092,
and you know what we do around
1,035.
here, especially, it's the fact that whenever this thing goes up, let's assume the price now comes down in the next 3 days or 1 week, you will hardly see the prices of those things coming down, especially from the transporters.
They are leading to motor parts.
It's what we have bought that we are still selling, as they say. And these are the issues in Nigeria. And another offshoot of that conversation is it's worse enough that we are buying the price of fuel at this level. I mean, I think the exorbitant rate, or whatever the explanations might be, is the measure for me. Like you are buying something that is not even complete. You go to many filling stations, take along your 5-liter jerry can. Tell them to give you 5 liters. Your guess is as good as mine. It's 5 out of 7 filling stations will fall short of this, if not 6. And these
the jerry cans are
as well. Expanded, Abby. Only when it comes to you buying from the either independent marketers, own filling stations, or petrol-owned filling stations, or the ones they call major marketers as well. And it seems everybody has resorted to faith. Like, okay, you just choose where to go per time, actually, because it seems in the days of the PPPRA and all of those agencies, that monitors task force on seeing that people are not cheated, Consumer Protection Agency and all of those things. I hope, because it's worse enough that you are using the money that you don't even have to buy something that is not even accurate. It's as terrible as that. That means there is an institutionalized corruption, because it's not just about people in power, people in government. That's corruption on its own.
And it's not even about, thank God you talked about oversight and all of those things, and corruption, and the fact that the quantity and the quality of things we're buying now has so much reduced. Thank God you spoke on that. And it's not only about PMS. It's not only about that. It's about beverages. Have you bought beverages recently, Femi?
Okay.
It's now half the pack. When you're talking about refill, even the tin, and I begin to wonder, the net weight on the bodies of these packs are still the same. They've not reduced. And I'll ask you, Femi, is it that the weight, per whatever it is it the grain or whatever I call it, has it suddenly increased such that the quantity has reduced, but the weight is still the same? And that brings us back to the oversight. The Standard Organization of Nigeria, please, what are they doing? Is it a one-off thing that you just check the standard of these things and that's all? Because it is outrageous, and the prices are increasing. Just like you said, they don't go down once they've gone up. And the quantity keeps reducing. You almost buy a pack, you will see, try again later. Because that's what it's almost getting to. There's really nothing in these packs anymore. Since we're talking about that now, food prices and all of these things, the quantity, what is wrong? What is happening? Even the quality.
Right. The quality, right? Because you're talking about beverages, and I think people should be very careful, especially beverages, especially the drinks, right? Make sure you are sure about the place that you are buying. 2 things that I found out, especially soft drinks, is the fact that some are not educated about storage, especially these shops, either big shops or the small ones. They buy this stuff, they put them outside
in the sun,
they display it. Imagine, and these things they will have reaction.
Yes.
You put it out, you bring it back. You put it out, you see people having 3 shops. They still go in front of their shop to display on the road so that people will see. So imagine a product under sun for like 2 weeks. Definitely you are not having the best of quality of that particular product, whatever it is.
That's if it doesn't even get,
So you open sometimes, the fizzy, you don't even get to have it. Some are even adulterated. That's on one side. Number 2 is there's a particular, I'm almost mentioning the name, I won't. A particular toothpaste that I usually buy. And I bought it. Their biggest size, right? Let me give you an illustration. It's a scam. When I finish with the illustration, you know. The carton is as big as this side. But the tube inside,
very small,
is not more than this.
And by the time
and
you
that's
even
maybe conservative.
Yes. And
so
by
why
the
did
time
you make such a
it,
fat carton? On the pali, the one we call pali around there, is as almost big as this. And then the whatever is inside, and that's their biggest size. It's almost like the regular former medium. You know the one they call medium before, not the big one. So why are we having all of that? You talk about the refill now. In fact, the moment you carry the refill, you do it like this. The whole thing goes to
there is nothing
almost
there.
At the baseline.
They blow air in it, and that's more than half down. I'm not joking. It is outrageous. It is terrible.
You are not, and I know. Because sometimes I do shop myself.
Can you imagine?
As terrible as that. So is that a tenable problem, really? Or institutional failure?
Institutional
That's what we
failure.
must do
And
better.
then enforcement. Where is the place of enforcement? Do
Keep
they
from
even
the
know we
institution.
eat? Do they know we eat? I mean, what is the National Assembly doing? Are they not buying food?
National Assembly.
Yes.
Let's talk about
We're talking about oversight here. We're talking about enforcement. I mean, putting these institutions on their toes.
To put the blame where it must be,
yes.
National Assembly can oversight anything and anyone in the Constitution, right? Including Mr. President himself. But the thing is about institutions, the FCCPC, Consumer Protection Agencies at the state level, at the local level, at the national level, the Standard Organization of Nigeria. What do you call these guys now? NAFDAC. These are some of their jobs, actually. It's not just to print, what do you call these things? Permission or what do you have? The things that they give people when they want to start them. It's not only to generate funds. They are trying, I know, but they can do much better everywhere around the country.
Remember how we kept on trimming down the canned fish up until now?
Canned fish?
Yes. It kept on getting slimmer and slimmer by the day. And now it's more than triple the price.
Hope you not say for inside.
That's another issue.
Let's take a quick break right now. When we come back, we speak to issues. The go-by election in Osun State will be going down August 15. We must talk about this with us.